edition. This time we're talking about Monster Trap from Kosmos. It's 2 to 4 players, ages 6 and up, takes about 20 minutes. And the basic idea of the game is you are trying to trap monsters. Simple as that. This is another game from Kosmos with a pretty high toy factor. Got some cool things come out of the box, which I'll show you in just a minute. But it's a very interesting, unique take on this that's kind of dexterity light. So not the typical kind of matching basic kids game. It's pretty interesting. So let's take a look, then we'll come back. I'll tell you what we think and whether or not it's one to check out. All right, guys. Hey, we're going to be looking at how to play Monster Trap here. So as I've said in other reviews, when it's a kids game, I like to set it up on the video so you can see what the process looks like, how long it takes, what headaches there might be involved when you're trying to get this game set up. Especially a game like this, you can see there are a lot of pieces, a lot of moving pieces. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. This kind of simulate the actual experience instead of having it set up in advance and you thinking, hey, that's not what it's like to play a game with a child. And you would be correct. So what we're doing is we are building this little mansion and its trap. First things first, we're going to put all our monster pieces in. You can see all the little spaces available here where they need to go. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what we're doing. Fill in these little spots. There we go. And I think one's down the side here, but we'll go ahead and leave it. Then we're going to build it. So when we're building it, you snap in the bits here, like that, right? And then you slide it through. And we snap on the other one, right? Simple as pie, right? So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. You don't have to watch me do all of this, but the basic idea is get all these in. Ta-da! All done. All right. Now, the game, I'll show you the basic mechanism of the game here. Very, 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 very simple, but fun. Still fun. Moving the monster. So what you're basically doing is you're moving along, you're moving along, you're moving along, you're moving along, moving along. Dot, dot, dot. Get him in the trap. Simple as that, right? I'm 33 years old, so I'm able to do this with relative ease, but you know, children obviously are going to have a little bit more trouble with it. So you have the deck of cards. It's got all the monsters shown on it, and so you're going to use these to determine which of the monsters you're trying to get and where you're trying to get them from. You are also going to have your player cards here. So these go together, and they're different colors, and what that basically does is it shows who you're working with. So the game is like semi-cooperative. You're not just going to move this by yourself. You're going to be working with another player who's going to handle this side while you handle this side. If you play with 2 players, then you handle all of it. So that's not necessarily great. You do want to try to get 3 or 4 players, especially if you're playing with kids. So both parents and one can work with the kid while another adult maybe works on this. One-on-one puts the kid at a pretty hefty disadvantage. You do have a limited amount of time to get this done, so that's another way you can kind of taper the difficulty, is making sure that the children have a little bit more time than you do. And the goal, of course, is to get these little guys out and score a certain number of points. Those little eye tokens, those are going to go into the trap as you drop people in there. So it's basically showing you got the eyes. Oh no, they're in there now. And you're going to get the card showing that you capture that monster. Now, the winner is the one who has the most cards, but you're also going to compare with your team, you know, so you have which ones you have the most of, but which team has the most. So there's 2 factors there. It forces the kids to think about who they're working with, how they're working with them. It's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting. And as you can see, it's a little bit of setup time, but nothing too demanding. And the kids can play with this stuff and knock stuff around as they go. So pretty versatile, pretty resilient game, plays well on the table or the floor. Let's jump back and we'll talk about what we think. All right, guys, so Monster Trap. Now, this is an Inka and Markus brand game, so out of the box, I kind of expected it to be halfway decent. As you can see, it is very unique and interesting. This is not a board or simple... It's one of those games that's been produced and it's designed to be tactily functional, and it's pretty cool, I gotta tell you. The basic idea of the game is very, very simple, obviously. Moving the monster from point A to point B, trying to get them in the hole, the end, right? But there's something just innately fun about the way you do that. So again, the three things we look at when we're looking at a family game, we're looking at what is it like to set up and teach, what is it like for the adults, and what is it like for the children. So part one of that, what is it like to set up and teach? The game itself comes out of the box pretty much ready to go. There's a little bit of punching to do. You got to get the pieces ready. You have to assemble the different bars that are moving around. You have to do that every time you play, otherwise they wouldn't fit in the box. None of this takes very long. Once you've done it once, it takes maybe 5 minutes to get it up and ready to go, and the kids can help you with it because it's not that hard. So that's not a problem. I don't have an issue with the setup or the production or the time it takes. The rules are very quick. It's like a page, page and a half. The basic idea of the game is very simple, and it's fun to practice. So when you first pull it out, even when you're setting up the rest of the pieces and the cards, you just tell the child, why don't you practice moving the monster in a sack around and see how you do, right? Now, because the game is designed to be played in kind of these quasi-teams, it does play better with a higher player count. You can play with 2, which I did with my son, and honestly, most of the kids' games we have, I play 2 players with my son. But that one does require that one person controls both sets of these different bars that are moving around. It's a little more difficult for the child. He did great at it, to be fair. I mean, it's 6 and up. He's 6 years old. He did fine. But it is something that to keep in mind. Like, it's a little more difficult. Of course, playing it together, especially if you're an adult playing with a 6-year-old, also challenging in its own way. So it's very interesting take on those things. As an adult, how is this game to play? There's no built-in caveat, handicap for adults. But I think anytime you have dexterity involved, really in any form, you don't need that. It's very, very, very hard for me as an adult to do very good at these games. My son beats me at Junkyard all the time. He's 6 years old. I can't stack the stupid blocks. So it's the kind of thing that I feel like it works. You don't really have to pretend to be bad at it. You don't have to mess up too much. It's not a hard dexterity game. There's nothing super difficult about moving those bars around, and it's really all about patience. So just do it quicker or goof around a little bit or whatever it is. It's fine. The monsters are very silly. The artwork is very fun and silly. There's nothing scary about the game. The kids were having fun kind of role-playing the different characters, and we're capturing the monsters. So I think it really works from a design perspective, and it really works from a rules perspective because it's pretty accessible and easy. From the kids' perspective, what did they think? They had a blast with it. I mean, it was very simple. It doesn't take a lot of time to set up and teach. It's not one of those super hard dexterity games that they're going to get frustrated with. It has that high toy factor. My daughter, who's 2, can run around and play with the pieces. Older children, you can get goofy with it. You can bounce around. You can bump the table. You can do whatever you need to do. It can be played on the floor without any issues. So all the usual problems that might pop up in a game like this aren't really there. And so I feel like it's a great fit, at least for my family. We haven't had any problems with this one. We've had a lot of, when the first couple times we played it a few more times after that. It's just like boom, 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 boom. And anytime we play a game, multiple times in a row like that, I know we have a hit on our hands because it means that A, it's fun, B, they want to get better at it. My son wants to get better. He wants to do better against the game. And there are new elements they want to explore. So, Monster Trap. It is a fun, cute, relatively harmless game with monsters. Great time of year for this one. It's a good, kid-friendly Monsters, Inc. style approach, even cuter than Monsters, Inc., more like Sesame Street style approach to monsters around Halloween time. And I think it's a good fit for a lot of families. So definitely give this one a check out. We give this one a buy rating. I think this is one we're going to keep around on the shelves because I think the kids are going to play it a lot. All right, guys. So that is the end of this BJ at the Table Family Edition review. Make sure you check out Monster Trap. Fantastic little game here. And check out all our other reviews. We put up a lot of reviews lately for family games, kids games, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with those. All right, but that's everything for this particular review. Until next time, have fun.